purpose of 811 is simply a way for anybody that's going to be doing excavation, whether it be a homeowner or a professional excavator, to call in to one place. We notify the utility companies that are affected by the area where that locate is, and then we notify them. They can come out and mark their underground lines so they don't get damaged accidentally when someone's excavating. My job is I'm actually the program administrator, so I oversee the program here in Montana. I'd like the public to know that no matter where they're at, just to be aware that they need to call in. Get those locates done so they know how to avoid it. Understand the marks. Going to our website at montana811.org is a great source of information that talks about the markings, what color the paint marks mean, what type of underground facilities. So yeah, I'd like the public to know that. A lot of people, and I definitely understand it. People are concerned about walking around their yard and who's on my property and stuff like that. And so a lot of our locators get questioned, and the utility companies, just by basis of being providing service to a property, has the authority to go on that property and maintain their underground lines, and part of that is the marking of those underground lines. It's not always just the place that excavation is taking place. We oftentimes have to access those underground facilities in a neighboring property because that's the only place it comes up out of the ground that we can send our signal down and trace it out. Interestingly enough, it's just getting people to continue to call in and get the locates done. It's so simple. It's free. There's no cost to it. There's a little bit of time involved because they need some time to go out and locate it, but that's all you're really giving up is that time. But so people just simply not calling in, it amazes me. And of course, the second part is just being careful when excavating or digging around those existing lines. This is an important process, and to back any type of changes to a one-call law to make it better. Unfortunately, sometimes we have to have punitive things to reinforce that these are important to do, and so sometimes fines or fees have to be assessed to people that don't follow the law, don't get those things marked out. As we've seen over and over again, other people usually end up paying for a damage, whether it's because they lose their internet access or they lose gas to their house or power to their house or an explosion taking place. It affects more than just that house or that excavator. It affects everybody. I think the mapping capability of submitting tickets online and being able to look at a map, be able to identify your excavation area on there, and then having us send that out to our locators on a very quick basis. A lot of everything is based on cell phones, so they got a cell phone, they can get a ticket while they're out on a job somewhere, which is a lot better than having to go out and do a job, go back to the office, pull it off of a fax machine, or pull off the phone, and ask about it. Now we're getting maps that are in people's hands that we can actually see that information. And I think that technology has really helped out a lot. Most of the damages we see is simply not excavating in a careful manner. And that usually it's just as simply as being aware that they're there and working around them carefully. I think people get a tendency to get too big of a rush, want to try to get things done better, use big equipment instead of hand digging and exposing stuff. So that's usually the biggest problem that we see, is just not taking care of and practicing safe excavation practices.